Well, let's look at our first recipe for those tofu burgers. Let's read that recipe. You need 1 cup quick oats, 1 cup soft breadcrumbs. Just quickly blend balled up pieces of bread in the blender. That sounds easy.
Easy.
1½ cups tofu, water packed or Mori-Nu or silken. 1/4 cup flour. 1 medium onion chopped fine. 1 tablespoon nutritional yeast flakes. 1/4 teaspoon sage, slightly rounded. 1/4 cup water, and 1 1/4 teaspoon salt. Tofu burger sounds really good, but do you ever do a cooking class and people say, I don't like tofu, I don't know what to do with tofu? Do you ever encounter that?
That's what this is all about. I usually encourage people at my classes, just take it and try 1 bite. Okay. And if you don't like it, my feelings are not hurt if you have to throw it out, because really, your mom cooks best to you. Someone else's mom cooks best. Oh, their tastes are different, so we shouldn't get offended. Just give. That's one of the reasons why we like to serve a wide variety of foods at our classes, because then people, if there are 6 recipes, they might find 2 that they go, yep, I'm going to make those.
That's good,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's the way to go.
Because
Let's
we all
try
have
it.
standard recipes we like, and then you can expand and add something.
Absolutely.
But don't you think with tofu, it doesn't have flavor, so it depends on what you add to it, what happens to it.
That is very true. And this silken type tofu seems to be even milder than the water pack. Almost no flavor at all. So it hides well in things. It hides well in these burgers.
Yeah, good. Okay, what do we do here?
Okay, I'm going to come over here to the food processor, and we're going to start by making the breadcrumbs, which is very simple. You can just take fresh pieces of bread, and if you kind of tighten them up a little bit, they will catch in the blades a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So just a quick little.
So that's what you said in the thing, balled up bread.
That's what it had,
Squeeze
balled
it.
up bread.
I was trying to figure out what that meant.
Okay.
Nice.
Breadcrumbs.
It works perfect.
It works perfect.
I'll have to try balling up bread in that fashion.
It takes, for that bread, it's about 1 slice for a ½ cup, okay? And then we're going to, all we need is 1 cup. I had 3 slices there.
Okay.
But all we need is 1 cup, so we'll go ahead and get that out in just a minute. And if you need dried breadcrumbs, just go ahead and do the breadcrumbs and then dry them on the cookie sheet. They dry a lot faster than if you try to dry your whole slices, and then it makes a lot of noise and it's harder to get it right. So grind it first and then dry it.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you put it in at the oven? What temperature?
Oh, it wouldn't take much. I would put it at maybe 225 so you could watch it. Because it's so fine, it could burn quickly.
Okay.
Okay. And then we have our tofu, and we're just going to go ahead and mash that up. I don't know if you can see the consistency on there, but it's quite different than water-packed tofu.
Very different. It's a lot silkier.
It is a lot silkier. And if you wanted to use water-packed tofu, if you were accustomed to the tofu flavor, then you could go ahead and use the water-packed tofu, and the recipe would really be just fine. It's convenient to use the silken tofu because it's the exact measurement for the recipe. So that works perfect.
It does.
Okay. So we have our tofu. Now we're just going to go ahead and add 1 cup of our breadcrumbs. I'm just going to set that on there for a minute while I measure this.
Nice.
Put that in there. And this kind of helps to bind the burger a little bit better.
Yep.
So we have that. And then if you have leftovers, you could even make a big batch of these and put them in put the breadcrumbs in the freezer so that you have it all the time. So that's handy. We have our quick oats. That's also a fantastic binder.
It is.
Chopped onion.
Oh, that'll give it good flavor.
Very good flavor. And if your family really doesn't care for onions, then you could put a little onion powder in there and you wouldn't have that mouthfeel of the onion, which for some people is not nice.
So strong.
That's right. We have some flour here. This is just regular whole wheat flour, but really any kind of flour would do. So if somebody needed gluten-free, they could do gluten-free bread, and then they could use
gluten-free oats.
And a gluten-free flour, even a millet flour or something like that. It's just for binding. Okay? And then we have our salt, and we have sage. Now, this is powdered sage, and my recipe is usually powdered sage, and this is rubbed sage.
Okay.
Okay. The powdered sage is a little more concentrated. It's ground farther. So because this is powdered, we added just a pinch more.
The rubbed. Okay.
Thank you.
Wait a minute.
Powdered and rubbed. Okay, the
Okay.
powdered is more concentrated than the rubbed.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and a little bit of nutritional yeast flakes for flavor.
I think sage makes a good flavor in a burger.
It does. It kind of is a chickeny type thing, and this is a light colored, so it kind of reminds you of a chicken patty.
Yep.
Yep. And then just a small amount of water here,
Nice.
and that's it. These are very simple,
I like
and we're
that.
just going to mix it up. And if you have children that like to help you in the kitchen, just have them wash their hands and get in here and mix it up, and they will have a grand time doing that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
My children loved to help me in the kitchen when they were little, and now they're excellent cooks themselves.
They like to cook?
They do like to cook, and they're like me, they like to eat. So it's a great combination.
That is the best combination.
Yes. Now, if your family gets nervous about textures, you could actually take this whole thing and put it in the food processor, and then it would be very smooth for shaping your patties.
Yep. Oh, that's fabulous.
Okay, and you can already see it kind of does hold together
It
pretty
does.
well.
I can see that.
Now, when we're forming this, it doesn't really have to sit very long. This is actually going to hold together.
Normally, would you let it sit 5 or 10 minutes before you did it, or no? You
No,
just right
I
away?
usually just go for it. Okay.
You need your pan.
And if you want them to hold together even more tightly, again, the food processing would condense everything down.
Yes.
Okay. You have a couple of options when you want to make your patties. You can use a ice cream, you can use a lid like this, and this is a wide mouth,
Nice. Like a canning lid.
a canning lid with the ring,
Yeah.
and just kind of pack it in there till it's smooth,
Yes.
like that. Then you're going to have a very uniform shape there. And just flip it on and then push that off. Excuse me, Jill.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
so you have a really nicely shaped
absolutely.
patty there. Now, if you don't and you don't want to buy a pack of these, you could also just take an ice cream scoop or a measuring cup. Either one would work just fine. And then just gently just shape your patty, and that will hold together quite well
Absolutely.
while it bakes. Now these will bake at 10 minutes per side.
Okay.
At
pretty quick.
350 degrees. And if you want them a little darker, you can go ahead and leave them in a little bit longer. And then they will be a very tender burger. And then if you would like them to be a little bit firmer, go ahead and refrigerate them. They freeze fantastic. So if you like to
That's
keep
what I was
something for
gonna
packed
ask.
lunches, wonderful. Because they set up just a little bit firmer, they're great to prepare on Friday for Sabbath.
Right.
Works great.
I like it. Do you ever do it like in a dish with gravy too, or not? You usually use it only for sandwiches. And
Oh, gravy too. And we're going to be making the gravy.
we are making gravy.
Yes.
Have you ever done it with gravy, or you
Oh,
usually-
yes.
You do. Okay.
Oh, yes, both ways.
Nice.
But my favorite sandwiches.
Yeah. We got some finished over here. It looks fabulous. I see you have one with gravy on it and the
Yes,
veggies.
yes.
And then the other one is just like a nice traditional sandwich with the lettuce and the tomato and the. I'm going to take a bite out of one of these.
All right, do that.
Now tell me, you have a cookbook while I get a bite ready here.
Okay.
Because we did not talk about this cookbook at the beginning. The garden menu, and this is brand new, 130 recipes.
That's right, brand new, just came out. These recipes are family favorites or favorites that we've done from cooking schools in the past. They're pretty much my regulars. Actually, when I was getting ready to proofread this, I just started picking this up and cooking out of it all the time because they are the recipes that I use a lot. So they're tried and true.
This is really good.
I'm glad you like it.
Oh man, that's great flavor. I had the one with the gravy, so I'm getting both flavors together.
But it's all about the gravy.
That's fabulous. I'm sorry I interrupted about the
No
cookbook.
problem, no problem at all. So, tried and true. We use them in our classes, and my family grew up with these.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So, yeah.
So you grew up eating vegetarian?
I didn't, but my kids
You mean
did.
your kids grew up?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right. No, I grew up a meat eater,
Okay.
and when I became a Seventh-day Adventist, learned all about the health message, and I did not actually like the food at first. We threw away a lot of food when we became Adventists shortly after we got married, or just before we got married, and we experimented a lot and didn't enjoy a lot of the things. So it's been a trial and error for the last 30 some odd years, and I actually enjoy getting in the kitchen and experimenting. My husband calls it my laboratory, so we have a lot of fun.
You know what, Leslie? That's a true gift. You know, because when someone actually enjoys to get in and have a good time and experiment and stuff, that's just a gift that God's given you. So thank you for sharing that with our 3D